Greetings, everyone. Welcome to another reading vlog. See? What was that sound? I do not know. Okay, we are gonna be reading one of the most anticipated books for me. I've been following this author's newsletter for quite some time, and so following on the updates of this book. So I was like, okay, when is it coming out though? The arc has been sent to the people who signed up for her arc, and I was one of those people who signed up, and I was very excited. And it arrived a few weeks, I think, 1 or 2 weeks ago, and I'm reading it now. Okay, I'm reading it now. I'm flying through it. I just read like 30% last night. So good. I don't know what to tell you. And so we're reading Blood Over Bright Heaven by M.L. Wang. I mean, that's how you guys call her. I'm calling her Wang because that's how we say it here in Singapore. M.L. Wang, yes. She never misses, guys. So good. What is this story about? Actually, truthfully, I don't actually know. But right now, it seems like I'm having an enjoyable time. Okay, let's talk about what I've read so far and what it seems to be so far. So, the first chapter opens with a family and a bunch of villagers escaping from their village, it seems, because they're being attacked by this bright light called Blight. Not sure. Blight. Oh, okay, bright light fused together. Blight. Okay. What's that blight light? What's that blight light? What's that bright light called Blight? Not too sure, but it kills everyone really instantly, and they're running away, and it's very intense, and you're like, oh my gosh, everyone's dying. Oh! And our main character, it's very sad. He's like, everyone is around me is dying from Blight. I don't know what's going on. And he's just running away and escaping to a safe haven. What's a safe haven? Not too sure. We jump to the next chapter, and the following chapters is following our main character, Skiona? Is that her name? Not too sure how to pronounce it, but she's called Skiona. And she seems to be sitting for an exam to prove to her... she's sitting for an exam for herself to become the High Mage of Court. This is unprecedented for a female mage. There has never been a female High Mage before. And so she's changing history. She's going for this exam and changing history. And she's scared. And the whole trial, I love it. I don't know what about it. I just love it. I'm so instantly drawn into the story immediately. And M.L. Wang just truly knows how to write her characters that make you root for them really instantaneously. And dude, the way that females are literally not empowered in this system just infuriates me. Okay, but other than that, the magic system, super dope. So the magicians in here are not like a typical magicians where they just wave their wand, say a spell, and then it works out. There's like science towards this magic. And honestly, it just feels like people in STEM, but with magic involved. So it's like magic comes from a source, and they have to know how to source the magic and use that magic source to function their spells. And so they have to come up with formulas and code it, sort of, and write codes and mapping the magic to the right places. And that's how it seems to be described so far. It's a little confusing. I'm not gonna lie, I'm kind of lost. Everything's going over my head. But I'm surviving, and I understand some of it. And I just love our main character, Skana, so much. Like, she's such a go-getter, and she's so arrogant sometimes. Like, she's not arrogant enough where she doesn't feel like... she's kind of arrogant, yes. But I like that. I like that of her. I like that Hermione... I don't want to refer to Harry Potter, but she really does remind me of Hermione Granger. You know, the confidence, that intelligence, and that supremacy. She is that girl. She is that girl. So, you know, she gets the position as High Mage. Spoiler, I guess. It just happens within chapter 2, okay? She gets the position, and now everybody is such an asshole to her because she's the first High Mage, like I said. And all her co-workers are guys and really misogynistic men who are disgusting, and I feel like slapping them. And when I was reading the book, I was like, okay, Don't hold me back, Skona. I'm gonna hit them. I'm gonna fight them. Fight me. Fight me. I was screaming, fight me, men. You guys are disgusting. You disgust me. Just because a female is too powerful for you. I don't know what's up with you guys. Okay. F you guys. F you guys. Yeah. I was screaming at the book. No one's hearing me. I don't know what I was doing. But point is, that's where I am so far with the book. And we also see the convergence of the first character that we saw in the chapter 1, and it seems like he's considered a Quen. That's a type of ethnic race in the book, and so he escaped to this country where Skirna is technically where Skirna is at, and he's considered an immigrant. Yeah. And he's helping her out as her laboratory assistant because the asshole people in the lab didn't want to give her assistant, and so they made the janitor, which is our character Thormill, yes, our character Thormill, her lab assistant, and so the story ensues. And the whole point of the job right now is for her to source magic to expand the barrier of this country so that it can encompass more people. That is the vibes. That is the vibe so far, but then otherwise that's all I have for you guys. I love this book so much already, like so attached. Oh my god, ML Wang really doesn't freaking miss. I don't know what else to say. I'm gushing over this book. It's coming out in a few days and I'm reading this so fast because I want to put this video out before I want to put this video out so everyone will watch this and go and buy it. I'm not saying that I have like much viewers, but enough videos. What if people are looking for a video? I don't know what I'm saying. I'm desperately reading this fast because I want to get this out before the release date so people will go and buy the book. Because excellence is ML Wang, like favorite author of lifetime. I do not know what else to say. I'm going mad. Okay, catch you guys in the next update. Sorry for the shaky camera angles, but yes, goodbye. Hello, Miss ML Wang. What are you trying to do right here? She just threw us a gigantic curveball, a freaking plot twist, a conspiracy theory right in our faces. And like Sconia, our main character, I am insanely shocked by the revelation. And yet, it makes total sense in the kind of magic system that ML Wang is trying to create. And it makes a lot of sense. It makes a lot of sense, and but still I am shocked. I was walking on the treadmill in the gym, reading this book, and safe to say, I lost my mind in that moment. I was like, oh, I had to stop myself from screaming right there and then, because that was really truly, what the freaking frick? Okay, but this is ML Wang's like style of writing, I guess. I don't know, there's not much work that's out by her that I've read. But she loves a conspiracy theory, she really, really does. She did something similar with The Sword of Kaigen, which is my favorite book ever. And it makes a lot of sense with the narrative, but it really makes a lot of sense with the world that she created. It's a science-based, coding-based kind of magic system where they are sourcing from a power source, where they're taking magic from a power source and then having to map out how it goes and how it's being used. And that's kind of like coding, sort of, not really, but yes. And I just realized a new aspect in the magic system as I'm reading as well, which is that it seems that a lot of this magic is also founded on the ideas of godhood. Like they have founding fathers of magic, and they are like essentially the same thing as Christianity or religions that are based off a singular god, where they have prophets that come to the walks of earth and convey God's message, which is obviously something that Christianity does as well. Yeah, so the idea of this magic system is based on godhood in certain senses, but we do not know if they are gods. It's just that there are prophets that come to earth and say that, yay, God told me that this is how we're going to use magic, and we're going to create a city that is
essentially ordained by God. And we're gonna run by the systems that God has created for us, and that's how we're gonna survive. And that's how we're gonna preach by. And magic is almost similar to a religion, sort of. And there's also different practices within um, magic, but they all believe in that one God. So that's interesting. I thought that was an interesting take for a magic system. I've not really seen godhood used that way. Um, I thought it was an interesting and refreshing way to bring in religion without being too preachy per se. And it's not preachy. I'm not saying that it is. I'm just saying that it's there and it's something that people might be sensitive to. So I thought it's good to talk about. In any case, ML Wang has crushed me with the new revelation, and I have to continue reading because I need to know what's gonna happen, and I need to know what Scotty is gonna do next because I think she is broken, and so am I. So let's see what she does. Okay, catch you guys in the next update. So hi friends, I'm done with Blood Over Bright Haven by ML Wang, and I'm destroyed. At the last pages of the book, I was clearly trying to hold back my tears as I read the last part. And I felt so emotional, and I just she wrapped it up so well because honestly, I was wondering for most of the book, like what was she gonna do? How was she gonna wrap up the book? At the 70-page mark, it felt like most of the things are not resolved there, and our main characters are still trying to resolve the conspiracy they have figured out, and so they're coming up with a plan to like make sure everything's alright again. And for a moment there, I really did doubt ML Wang's ability to complete this like in a way that I could feel satisfied. And so I can say with a lot of confidence right now that Miss Maya Lin Wang did not disappoint me at all. I am I am not shocked and also very shocked by the outcome, but I'm so happy we got to where we are. So here's my review and here's my star rating for this. This is most definitely gonna be a 5 out of 5 stars. And is this review somewhat biased towards her? Yes, it is because I already love her other work, The Sword of Kaigen, and there's no doubt about it that I will love this current work, and I really do. I think it's not perfect compared to The Sword of Kaigen. It's most definitely not as perfect in terms of wrapping out a really dense plot line that can be broken up into a duology truly, into a singular standalone book. I think more could have been done, but I'm actually very satisfied with where we wrapped up. It did feel a little bit, the solution to the problem did feel a little lacklustery until we reach a certain part, and then you felt like, oh, okay, all right, that's where we're going, and it made more sense, and it wrapped up the story much better than I anticipated while reading the book. And so I was still very happy with the outcome, and I still do think that as a standalone, it is very strong in its own ways. Um, but I think it could have benefited from being a duology as well. I mean, I want more. I want more of her work, so I would never say no to another book in this world. But with how it wrapped up, honestly, I'm satisfied. I'm satisfied with the outcome. Truly, I am. So let's talk about why it worked out so well for me. I think it's the characters. Truly, it's the characters. I didn't feel so closely to Thorlin. Thorlin. I think that's his name, Thorlin. So sorry, I keep forgetting his name, but I'm not so attracted to that guy. But he's alright. I don't think we have a lot of perspective from him. It's usually following Sconia. Sconia. I can't remember the names. Hold on. Okay, I got their names. I'm so sorry, but it's Thormil and Skona. So Skiona. I don't know how to pronounce the names. Okay, I don't have the audio. This name is not working out for me. I'm just gonna call her Hermione for the sake of speaking it, for the sake of being able to talk about it easily. Hermione is just such like Hermione Granger. She truly is a arrogant but super clever and confident lady, but also she is someone who knows how to express her feelings and is very, very strong with her perspectives in life. And that is something I truly admire in a person. And that's why I guess I connected her with her so deeply. Other than her reminding me of Hermione, she does remind me very deeply of Emma from Emma, written by Jane Austen. This headstrong girl who is hard on their beliefs and just is very clever. And I really, really like Skoyana a lot. I don't know if I'm pronouncing it right. I'm so sorry, but yeah, she is amazing and it's a character that I find a lot of people might find really annoying at the start because she's not very likable. I think in a certain sense that where she's really overly confident, she's arrogant, she's a bit annoying sometimes in that sense. And sometimes she cries quite a bit. She cries almost 78 times in the book, but I understand why she cries. And honestly, she cries not out of just of sadness. She cries for many, many reasons, and I think it's just a way of her expressing emotions. And I appreciated that a lot from her character because maybe as a person who often, I wouldn't say I cry often, but I think when emotions get really overwhelmed in me, the only way I know how to release it is through crying. And with Sonia, she really knows how to do that. And yet, there's a beauty in the way that she cries, in the sense that she doesn't just cry um because she doesn't just cry in front of any other person. She cries in front of people she knows she can trust. So only in front of these people does she like actually break down and allow herself to cry. And I think knowing to show vulnerability in a character is also very heartening to see because she is going through a difficult time. She is processing a very difficult truth. Knowing something and believing so hard in something to only realize that that is not what is the truth can break someone deeply. And her reaction to it is probably one of the most humanistic, natural ways of actually reacting to a situation that I would think a normal, like an actual human being in our world would react to. And she's a fictional character. You get what I mean? She's fictional, she's reacting like a real person. And that just makes her a really well realized character. And I love that about her. I don't really have a lot of thoughts about Tomeo, which is the other main character, because we don't get much of his perspective. But you feel for him, even with the small snippets of time that you get with him. And I think ML Wang just knows how to portray her characters really well. She knows how to craft a character that makes you feel for them despite their good and their bad sides. They're obviously morally grey characters. You know that they're not good guys or just plainly bad guys. You can see from the perspectives of our main characters how they are like as people and how they react to certain situations. And it just makes it very easy for the reader to root for them, aka me, truly. There's some really gross characters in the book, but I don't want to talk too much about them. They are essentially the other majors that Skoyena has to work with, and they're really disgusting, especially one of them. And I don't want to talk about who because I think I don't want to mention too much about that guy, but I do want to mention some content warnings right now. I mean, it's a little jumbled right now, my thoughts, but content warnings for if you don't want to know, I'm gonna flash the content warnings part here, and like I'm just gonna say them and flash a sign to show that I'm talking about the content warnings, and then I'll stop. Yeah, so that you won't get spoiled. If some people don't care about content warnings and they feel like knowing content warnings will spoil the thing for them. Okay, so there is a sexual assault scene that happens with there is a sexual assault scene that happens with a character, and it's not very in-depth in detail, but I think it can be triggering for some. I was not triggered. I could stomach that level of description, but I think for some people they just want to avoid it at all costs, and I think that was one of the things that happened, which is sexual assault. The gore is not too much, and I think it's alright. It's tolerable for me. But other than that, we also see a lot about suicide ideation, and I think that might be triggering for some people to see a character try to take their own life or has taken their own life, and that might be triggering to you. There's some levels of that. It's not very descriptive. Again, like I said, but still there are some points about that you must take note of in case you get triggered by that. Yeah, okay. Going back to the main point, talking about the characters. So we're done with the characters. I want to talk about really the world that she has chosen to build. That brings up a lot of interesting conversations that we can have even in our own real world. So we have the country or the city that is built in a bubble, and we have the Quen people that are living outside, the so-called savages or the tribal people that live outside of that bubble. And so they're all always trying to come into the city because they're all dying from a disease called blight. And it's just a white, bright light that kind of spirals them and eats them up, and they're just left with bones and blood. And nobody knows why this is happening. And so they're all trying to escape into the contained city, which is where Scania is a citizen and is from, and our character Thormil is the Quen people who is a tribal person that's coming into the city. So Thormil has escaped into the city for a really long time already, and so he's a citizen, and he's actually working with Scania as her newly appointed lab assistant by chance. And so that's how they ensue, and that's how their relationship builds. And there's a lot of conversations about, ethnicity, the difference of ethnicity, and the different powers of different classes of people and cultures. So the Quen people are considered like dirty. They are, savages, deemed as savages, and they are like the immigrants that overtake the city, and they're just the rats of the city, and they mean nothing to these people, and they are just servants. So that means the people in the city hold a lot of precedence over them, and they control a lot of them, and that they work in the city, they have to work in the city and provide in order to stay, and they live in essentially slums, and they have not much say. They are essentially just immigrants, like I said. And I think ML Wang brings up a lot of talk about the different classes, and how even in our current world, how different classes of people are affected differently in society, and who has more benefits, and who needs to be more highly aware of, like police officers, law enforcement, because we're being treated differently in our current environment. In Singapore, we are supposed to be a racially harmonious country, and to a certain extent that we are, yet there are some levels, I'm sure we all are aware of racial biases, even as the government tries to not have those racial biases, if you know what I mean. So I don't want to comment too much about that, because I don't think I am apt. I don't think I'm fully aware of the situation. I finally remember the name is the Tirans, Tiranians, yeah, and the Quent. And so we can see things like this happening in, I guess, America. African American people versus their obviously white counterparts. But I can't comment on that either, because I don't belong to America. But we see that conversations that happen in America. And I think, I'm not saying that she's taking a political stance, but we also see the conversations of race and ethnicity in Blood Over Bright Haven. And I think it's important conversations that we ourselves have to consider about our own world, or about our own community, and to understand our privileges as people, and to understand the privileges that we have, and what other privileges people do not have. And it's just because we're seeing from Scania's point of view. And so her view is very skewed right now. What she thinks, what she assumes about the world, she realized that it's not the full picture that we're given. And I think that's also something. I'm not saying that this is what we have to learn from the novel. I'm not saying that there's something to learn from the novel, but it's something that we can consider in our own lives, right? I mean, that's the whole point of reading. So we can see how she reacts to reality. We can see how she reacts to the truth coming out. And I guess it's how we can also see about ourselves. This is how we can also apply it to ourselves in a way that all the information that's put out to us may not be accurate, and because it's propaganda given by the government, and it's not always true, but it is what it is. I'm just saying to open our eyes a little bit more to the world around us. And I think Skonia dealt with it in a way that Skoina dealt with it in a way that is really admirable, because I wonder if I was also faced with such a harsh truth, like telling me that the sky is not blue, it's green. I'm not saying that that's what the information is got, but let's just say the equivalence is that the sky is not blue, it's green. And the truth is that it's actually green, but we don't know why we only see it as blue, but it's actually really green. Would you take that as the truth, or would you choose to not accept it? You know what I mean? The thing is that she's faced with a very hard truth that she could just ignore if she wanted to. She could. She could choose to ignore it. But the thing is, she chooses to seek the truth. She chooses to have the truth right in front of her eyes and accept it for what it is. She faced denial at first, but she found the strength in herself to deal with the truth that's right in front of her. And I thought it was something really admirable as a character for her. I'm sorry if my thoughts are not really coming out very coherently, but I'm trying my best because I just finished the book and I'm trying to collate everything that I think about it. And I think the world that she built in general, as I was describing, is something so realistic to the world that we have right now, and yet of course it has its own fantastical elements, it has its own magical systems, it has its own governmental bodies that are different from our world but are similar. And I'm not saying that she's trying to teach us anything, but I'm getting a lot of things that I feel like I can apply into real life. Not that I want to, but I am doing so. And I just felt like she brought up a lot of important information and important conversations that we need to have as a society. Yes, okay. It's not coherent thoughts, but I'm trying my best. Alright. Yeah. You know, if anything, I felt like the story was exactly for me. I don't really know why. I like the academic perspective of Skoina being a scientist. She's working sort of a scientist. She's like a mage that uses magic as if it were science. Yeah, and I really thought that was very cool and very fresh. It's not quite alchemy, but it is sort of alchemy. I just like the whole idea of that. Okay, and as per usual, I think ML Wang's writing is phenomenal. She just knows how to write, and she knows what to say to hit you at the right spots, to make you want to cry, to make you feel so deeply for our characters, to see right into their brains, to see what they're trying to say, and to feel how they feel, even as characters that are inherently not good, but are just trying their best for what they believe in, for the values that they choose to follow. Yeah, and I think that is great. Ultimately, maybe that's just the kind of characters I like to follow. So that's just my personal preference. Again, like I said, this review is extremely biased towards ML Wang. I can't seem to find the exact reasons why I love this so much, but I just love it a lot. It feels like coming home when I read this. It's just everything that I need, everything that I want. She can do me no wrong. Literally no way, Jose. I don't know. Struggling to talk about this book, truly. Oh, okay. I don't know. I literally don't know what else to say, because I think I think every part of this is essentially phenomenal, from the writing to the world building to the characters to the storyline. Everything fit perfectly for me, but like I said, some part of the pacing felt a little off, and the wrap up felt a little bit rushed, but it still worked out for me. And though I could prefer it as a duology, I'm also really happy to have it as just a standalone. In fact, I do prefer it to be a standalone, just for reasons that I think she just does really well with standalones and stuff. It's guys, I just want to tell you that this is so great. Just just goddamn pick it up. Like, go and pick it up today. It's already out. If you're not someone who has already pre-ordered it, please just go and pick it up. I am 101% an ML Wang fan, and so I cannot not tell you with my conscience to not pick this up because she's so damn good. I don't know what else to tell you. It's just so brilliant. Like, I think my video is gonna be a mess. Just go and pick it up, okay? I'm gonna leave the link down below. It's just so great. And I mean, I gotta read it because I've so thankfully received an ARC after signing up, you know, with her little Google form. And I was one of the lucky people that managed to get the book and to read it before it comes out. I don't know. And I'm so grateful. And I'm still... I feel like I just got hit by a train from this book because I just finished it. And so the thoughts are not coming out coherently. And I just think that this is good enough. This is what I'm going to produce. And this is what I'm going to put out. And... you get it. You just gotta go read it, right? You're just gonna go pick it up. You're just not gonna care what I think. And you're just gonna take my enthusiasm as a reason to go pick it up. So just do it. Just do it. Nothing. Just go pick up this book. I'm gonna leave it in the link down below. I loved it very much. There's nothing that she can do wrong. Go and read it. If you like it, let me know down below in the comments. If you don't like it, don't let me know. I'm an avid fan. Don't let me know because I feel like you're just hurting my feelings at this point. Okay, I know everybody has their own opinions. I get that, but just don't let me know. Just don't let me know. Okay, guys, this is gonna be the end of the video because I don't know how else my brain is gonna wrap around tell you more about this, and this is gonna be it. I am my last brain cell is trying to figure out how else to convince you to buy this freaking book, but it can't come up with a solution, and so I'm just gushing. And don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe, and just go pick up this goddamn book. I swear to God, just do it and let me know if you do. Okay? Yeah. Okay. Thank you so much for watching this hysterical, nonsensical video. I love you for watching it, and thank you for sticking around. See you guys in the next one. Bye.